Buy things, use them, and lose them. I really appreciate the 700 people who have subscribed. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. And if 300 more of you could please hit the subscribe button. Once we get to 1,000, Uncle YouTube will start giving me a little bit of money for these videos, and we can maybe one day fund some travels with the money that YouTube pays me from you guys watching our videos. So there's an old saying that goes, you can have anything that you want, but you can't have everything that you want. And I guess what it means is that no matter what your goal is, you can accomplish it, but you will have to sacrifice things to get there. For example, many people, they tell me that they want to live abroad, but my question to them is always, well, what are you willing to sacrifice for this? So I've lived in 12 countries over the last 10 years, and moving around so much obviously means that I can't have so many possessions. I have one suitcase, one backpack, which I put all my tech stuff in, and all my clothes and any personal belongings that I wasn't happy to throw away. Whatever can fit into one suitcase gets to come with me. And that's just the way it is. Whatever I buy, if I buy a new pair of shoes, I gotta throw my old pair of shoes away. It's very difficult to live this kind of lifestyle with many possessions and taking them with you from place to place. These possessions are great, but they don't really mean anything. And after 5 years of owning something, it doesn't have the value that it had. And sure, you can have 20 pairs of running shoes, or you can spend that money and go to Japan and make memories that will stay with you forever. Maybe you remember your first iPhone and you remember your current iPhone, but all those iPhones in between, they're just a distant memory now. You don't even know where they are. Some you lost, some are in a shelf somewhere that you don't use anymore, some broke. But for the cost of each one of those iPhones, you could have had a trip, a memory that would have stayed with you for years and years and years, if not forever. Really, one of the hardest parts of living this kind of lifestyle is learning to stop being attached to things. Depending on where you're living, you only need a certain type of clothes, right? For instance, I live in Kuala Lumpur, which is almost every single day is 35 degrees heat. So having long trousers, having these beautiful linen shirts that I used to own living in Spain and Italy, they don't serve me here. Good luck going outside in a 35-degree heat with a linen shirt on. You'll last about 10 minutes before you are covered in sweat. If next week I end up moving to Sweden and it's freezing cold, I just won't bring these shorts and t-shirts with me. And when I get to Sweden, I go one day, I spend a couple of hundred, and you've got a whole new wardrobe. Don't get attached to stuff, guys. Buy things, use them, and lose them. The only thing that I've been attached to over the years is I would buy something, usually more kind of tech stuff. So when I first started traveling, I bought a drone, and traveling through Southeast Asia and Latin America with a drone, and it took up quite a bit of space in my backpack. But I would always carry it just in case, someday I'm going to be somewhere and, I'm going to want to release the drone and get this beautiful footage of the area. This was back in the day before, drones were so common, and they were much bigger back then. I realized after a while that it'd been 2 years and I'd basically never taken this drone out of my suitcase. So I just left it one day in a hostel. Just left it behind. It has no use for me anymore. I realized if it hasn't left my suitcase in a year, I'm probably not going to need it ever again. And the only reason I was carrying it around is because once I paid a lot of money for it. But that's not a good reason to carry something around. If you think about it, that's why we hold on to possessions for so long, because we once paid a lot of money for it. Whether it's still valuable to us is almost irrelevant, because the value that we attach to it is the amount of money that we once paid for it, not the amount of use we currently get from it. So yeah, the drone was a big lesson for me. The only possessions that I could never convince myself to get rid of, because we all own some stuff that are very sentimental, are my football shirts. Growing up in London, of course I love football, especially back in the 90s, and we had some of the coolest shirts back then. I own some football shirts that almost 30 years old now. For instance, this was the first ever Arsenal shirt that I bought. Well, my mum bought me when I was 14, 15 years old. It's not really because of the value of the shirt that I keep it, but it's just the sentimental value. When I look at these t-shirts, I think of Dennis Bergkamp, I think of Ian Wright, Tony Adams, the 97, 98, 99 seasons where all of my footballing memories were from. So I really struggled to get rid of these t-shirts. And to be honest, they take up about a quarter of my suitcase, which doesn't make any sense, right? To be carrying around these old t-shirts that I don't even wear because they're so old, but yet I carry them around all over the world. But I think for a lot of you, this is probably the part that you guys are going to struggle with the most, is what do you do with all the stuff that you've accumulated over the years? When you go to an average person's house, they just have so much stuff. It's very easy over the years to just accumulate more and more and more and more jackets, snowboarding outfits for that one time you went snowboarding, a snowboard, bikes, bags, jewelry, tech stuff, all of these things that you once bought that now have almost trapped you because you don't know what you could do with them if you leave. Do you put them into storage? Do you sell them? The best thing that I did at least, was completely detach myself. Completely just get rid of everything. And I always think, if my house burnt down today and I lost everything, would I be so upset? What would I be the most upset about losing? And for me, it would just be my football shirts. You know, my football shirts, and I have photos of my friends growing up that obviously couldn't be replaced. You know, even things like my university degree I threw away a long time ago, all of my medals that I'd won for, you know, running the marathon or competing in high rocks, all this kind of stuff. I never keep any of these things because whether I have the medal or not, whether I have the certificate of my degree or not, it doesn't change the fact that it happened. And even if I lost my photos, those things still happened. The memories were still made. I still have them in my mind, in my heart. Even if I lost all my football shirts, I just like them because they're cool. And, you know, one day when I have a house, maybe I would put them up on the wall somewhere. It's just like a cool little homage to 90s football. But it also wouldn't be the end of the world. I would just move on, you know? I would just be like, okay, cool. It would almost be a bit of a relief that I don't have to carry things around anymore. Realistically, you want to be financially free, have the ability to go every season and buy completely brand new clothes, but buy few clothes, you know? Really, if you think about it, you only need 5 outfits, right? You need something for the day, something for night, something to go to the gym in, something for fancy evenings, and some casual wear for around the house. How many people see you on a daily basis? And even if they did, how many of them would even realize that you're wearing the same things? Think about the people that you saw yesterday. You have no idea what they were wearing, right? Because we don't really pay attention. It's just we think people will see us and will say, oh, he's wearing the same t-shirt as before. But even then, it doesn't matter. Steve Jobs wore the same thing every day working at Apple, and he was a multi-millionaire billionaire. So if it was good enough for him, it's good enough for you. And the less possessions you have, the more freedom you have, right? The more of your life that can fit into one bag, that bag can go anywhere. Really, you don't need much to live, guys. Save money, don't spend money on stuff, and then you can redirect that money to memories, to travel, to experiences. Anyway, just some thoughts that I had. Let me know, what do you own? What's the one possessions that you guys couldn't live without? If your house was burning down, what would you run in for to get? What could you not live without? Would it be a sentimental thing? There's an old Buddhist saying which I really love, and it's, the secret to happiness is not to have more, but to want less. I think that really helps to then help you afford living this lifestyle, this nomadic lifestyle, where a lot of you think you don't have the money for it. But I think you'll realize that once you remove all these possessions and cost of these possessions that you buy so regularly, that actually you realize all I need is a little bit of sun, some food, a nice place to sleep, a nice shower, and people, community. Anyway, guys, I really appreciate the 700 people who have subscribed. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. And if 300 more of you could please hit the subscribe button. We need to get to 1,000. Once we get to 1,000, Uncle YouTube will start giving me a little bit of money for these videos. And then, number one, I can let you know how much they pay me and try and convince you guys to start your own channels as well. And number two, it can just pay for a couple of coffees and dinners, and, you know, I can take Kayla to some nicer places, and we can maybe one day fund some travels with the money that YouTube pays me from you guys watching our videos. Any questions that you guys have about this kind of nomadic lifestyles or living abroad, let me know. Let me know in the comments what kind of videos you guys want, what kind of questions you have. All right, guys, enjoy your day, and I'll catch you soon. Peace.